Hey everyone, this is Dale Stiles, and this is my Week 2 video discussion, question, and commentary. As I went through the different readings, I was really impressed with the process of getting shows on the air. Specifically, in Jason Mattel's Television and American Culture, I learned a lot about all the different stages. On page 18, Mattel talks about the exchange of programming, exchange of advertising, and the exchange of audiences, and that if you understand those three exchanges, it allows us to rethink the free label of television. On page 19, Mattel tells us that the central functions of production, distribution, and transmission of television are similar in function to other industry systems of manufacturing, wholesaling, and retail sales. The production process is usually done by a production studio like Warner Brothers, Universal, or Amblin Entertainment. Primarily, they manage the creative process. On pages 24 and 25, we learn that the distribution process is the most crucial role in terms of control of the industry and securing most of the profits. They determine what shows make it to the air. Distributors are the networks, channels, and syndicators who all have a different relationship with the producers, transmitters, advertisers, and audiences. Networks are the most powerful distributors. We all know about the big three, ABC, CBS, and NBC. But many others have joined the ranks in the years leading up to the publishing of this book, and several changes have occurred since. Cable and satellite channels are sometimes referred to as networks, which makes the differences confusing, but channels do not have affiliates. Mattel went a little bit more into this on page 31. And he talks about cable and satellite channels establishing themselves as network alternatives. Since their audiences was smaller, they established branding in order to identify themselves. And of course, the big three did that as well, but the alternatives did it a little differently, a little more aggressively. Syndicators also distribute original programming, but while they do a whole lot of reruns and stuff, they also do first-run syndicate shows, which are slightly different than what we would normally see on network shows or whatever. So most of these are in genres that most networks don't program. And on page 35, Mattel talks about game shows, talk shows, tabloid news, and courtroom reality shows, as well as other programs that might feel a little more like network television. Transmission enables viewers to watch the shows. Essentially, they act like the retail store and put the show on the shelf for the customer to retrieve it. In traditional trade, this would be done by the broadcasting station, which would be available on a special frequency and mandated by the FCC. Now, these functions can be done through other transmission systems like cable TV. Cable can then sell premium channels, pay-per-view, and video on demand. Other systems are direct broadcast satellites, which can offer the same thing as cable, but they use a different transmission system. And those go through the air, and you've got to be able to point it directly at the satellite in order to actually get the signal. A newcomer on the scene are the web-based video streaming systems that can either use radio frequency cable or fiber optics to get the signal to the TV, the computer, or the router, so it can be sent to wireless devices like phones and tablets. All sorts of possibilities exist now. In order to watch TV on my iPad before, I had to be at home and connected to my home Wi-Fi signal. I always thought that was silly. I mean, what's the use of that? Now I can be connected to any Wi-Fi signal or even a cellular signal. My iPad Pro has a SIM card that allows me to send and receive the cellular band, so as long as I have a signal from anywhere, I can drive out to the middle of nowhere and watch TV. That may sound a little silly, but it comes in really handy when I'm trying to take pictures of incoming storms. I not only have access to several radar apps, I can also get the local news stations to see what they're saying. Now, I seldom go out more than 30 miles from home, but I have found myself out on, Bob's Road, right? If you've ever seen Twister, you know the one I'm talking about. It's a 2-lane paved road, then it's a 1-lane pothole road, then it's just a dirt trail, and you're not sure if you're about to run up on a cow, a goat, or a tornado. Nope. Anyway, back to page 22. On page 22, I knew there was a debt in the production of movies and TV, but I never imagined it was so much and for such a long duration of time. So my question for this week is, how many of you knew that production studios were allowed to go so far into debt, and what do you think any one of us would have to do to fund a 10-minute story and have it air on a local television station? By you and I, as a prosumer. I'll see y'all in the comments.